Stop telling yourself the same story and the same narrative over and over again because you're just reaffirming yourself of the outdated beliefs that could be thrown away by now. And I know it's hard because we hold some sort of attachment to those negative beliefs that we have. And a lot of times that is also attached to our attachment to victimhood and being the victim. And when we start to bring our power back and know that we can't change our thoughts, we just have to notice what thoughts are coming up first, whether that's insecurities, whether that's limiting beliefs. If you keep having the same thought of, I'm not worthy of taking up space, and you keep entertaining that belief, you are just allowing that belief to grow bigger and bigger. But the more you notice that thought that comes up and literally becoming present, grounding into yourself and thinking, I don't want to think that anymore, and telling yourself a different story, I am worthy of holding space. I am worthy of taking up space. I'm worthy of taking up as much space as I want. When you start to feed yourself those beliefs instead of the outdated ones, that's when your thoughts will begin to change. You have to reroute those neural pathways so that way you can create a life that you like to actually live. If you're constantly triggered 24/7 by things people say and that things people do, point the finger back to yourself and figure out, what story do I keep repeating to myself? What narrative keeps repeating into my life? Because I know for me, that even showed up in my abandonment wounds and narratives that I was repeating, but also actions that I was affirming and accepting from others that was perpetuating that wound. And I'm sorry to say it, it all comes back to us. We make it so much harder than it is, because when people have certain insecurities or thoughts or doubts, we get so stuck in the same loop. It's just like running in a circle and we go nowhere. You have to step outside of the circle and look at it and think, wait, have I kept myself in this small circle? Right? Because even if somebody bullied you for this thing, right? For me, oh my gosh, it sounds ridiculous. I've talked about this before on another episode. I have had this huge insecurity about my eyebrows not being symmetrical and even. Hello, like all of us. And it was because other people pointed it out to me. Hey, you know that your eyebrows are uneven, when I was in high school. Now I could become a victim and say, I have this belief because people bullied me in high school for it. And so now I don't love it in myself. Or I could take my power back and say, people notice this about myself, but we all have uneven eyebrows and our beauty comes from our uniqueness, not how symmetrical we are. And my beauty doesn't just come from my physical features, it comes from who I am as a human, right? And rerouting those beliefs and thinking, they're the weirdo for pointing that out. I love my eyebrows. I love me the way I am. So when those thoughts come up about anything about your body, your life, other people, ask yourself, is it true? And why do you keep believing it? When we have thoughts that come up that you don't like, why do you keep believing them and feeding them? When you're giving them attention and you're feeling these deep emotions of anger or sadness because of them, you are the one that's feeling it. And that might not be easy to hear. And it probably is easier to look back at our life and blame other people, blame the people that pointed it out. But also, you got to point your finger back to yourself and blame yourself for allowing yourself to believe what other people told you about you. Why are you believing those things that people said or did? You can create your own beliefs about yourself and make that enough without needing that validation or confirmation from other people around you. They are the weirdo for pointing out something about you, and that just means that they don't feel secure in themselves. So why would you care what they think anyways? And 90% of the time, I hope these people that have pointed out things about us, about our futures, about our life, about what we do, that doesn't serve us, that makes us feel less about ourselves, should not be in ourselves, and you shouldn't be looking up to them or accepting that word anyways. Why are you believing them? Create a new belief about yourself. How? How do we do this? Why? All you literally have to do is notice that thought when it comes up and then say the complete opposite and say what you want to believe. And after enough times of doing that, right, it's kind of like if somebody were to tell you you were ugly every day when you were a kid, then you start believing it, okay? And to be fair, give compassion to those younger parts of ourselves that didn't know the things that we know now. Now we could take our power back and say, wait, I do have the information I need. I actually can create my own beliefs and believe them. I actually can create my confidence from the belief I have in myself, not from what other people have told me growing up. You can believe that you're beautiful without other people telling you that you are. Is it helpful? 1000%. It is so nice to get that from other people, but I don't know about you guys, but has anybody ever complimented you and it feels genuinely hard to believe it? You just have that resistance. Oh, like, no, no, I don't believe that. Or like, no, I'm not pretty. Or, it just feels like you can't accept it deep down. That is resistance that we have within ourselves. There's something, or for some reason, we can't accept it or believe it. But it takes our own relationship with ourselves to fix that. Because then when we get a compliment, we can actually accept it and feel uplifted by it. Like, oh, that was really sweet of them to say. And I know that about myself deep down, right? That's when you can actually accept and use compliments. But when you're receiving that community, that validation outside of you, and you don't even believe it, it's doing nothing for you if you don't believe it in yourself. And that's why we have to take the roadmap. We have to take our wheel and take control of our life and take control of ourselves and our thoughts. It's as easy as that, you guys. That's all you need for these. And of course, is this going to be universal for everything in your life? No, of course not. Of course not. But this is so helpful in terms of insecurities. Again, thoughts about yourself, even about patterns in your life. Look, when I figured out that I was accepting poor treatment from other people, and that's why I was like subconsciously perpetuating this abandonment wound of mine, accepting this less than behavior and also staying in relationships that I shouldn't have stayed in. Yes, of course I was getting abandoned. I wasn't even getting treated the way I needed to be treated, right? I was operating off of wounds and I wasn't seeing my worth. But now that I see my worth, as soon as I see those breadcrumbs, I reject so that I can receive something more. It's the same with our relationship with ourselves, the thoughts we feed ourselves. Also, make sure that you're surrounding yourself with people that are helping you affirm yourself of the narrative you want to live by. If you want to live from joy, if you want to think you're beautiful, don't surround yourself with people that are constantly bringing others down, talking about the way other people look, the things other people do. Surround yourself with people that have the lives, the confidence that you want to embody yourself. People that don't compete with you, people that uplift you, support you. So, in all, this episode is all about creating a life that you want, creating confidence that you want with your own thoughts. Yeah, that means you're going to have to put in the effort to be conscious, to be present. Yes, this is not something that a short dopamine fix is going to fix for you, whether that's validation, a drink, smoking. None of that is going to help the story that you keep repeating to yourself. We orchestrate our own hell by repeating these same thoughts and narratives in our head. Start to write down the thoughts you're having. Because even for me, I subconsciously will like body check myself in the mirror. And now I've been conscious to that, been like, no, I'm not going to suck in when I look in the mirror. I love my body. I love my belly. And I will repeat that until it becomes the thought that I have 24/7, right? The more you repeat that same thought, the more you're going to live by it. But if you keep believing that outdated thought, that negative thought, the outdated pattern, go ahead, let it run you. Go ahead. I've been there. It sucks. And I understand it's hard. Yes, it takes effort. Yes, it makes you become conscious. Yes, it can be frustrating. Yes, it's okay to look back and be mad at the people that instilled those beliefs in us, but it's also important to move forward. Move on and create a new life. You can create a new life whenever you want, by the way. We just make it so hard. Stop thinking about it, overthinking. Literally, that is the answer. When that thought comes up, create a new one. That is all I want you to do from this podcast episode. Start to notice how you speak to yourself. That negative inner critic, it ain't you, honey. That's your dad, your mom, somebody growing up, your brother, your sister, I don't know. A friend that was mean to you. That inner critic is not our voice. Okay? Babies don't come out into this world thinking, oh man, like, my eyebrows are really uneven. Or, oh my gosh, I don't have a flat stomach. Babies are not thinking that. Which, to be fair, babies can't even speak and understand things until a certain time. But you know what I mean, right? Kids, even growing up, we don't have those thoughts until they're instilled in us. Okay? So stop believing that inner critic. It's not even your voice. Reject it. Be like, whoa, that was mean. You can literally talk to yourself like that. When you have a mean thought, I reroute myself all the time. I remember there was one time I was painting and I accidentally spilled paint on my canvas and it messed up my painting a little bit, but I was just painting for fun anyways. That was literally my intention. And I got so mad at myself for a second and I literally said out loud, see, this is why we can't do fun things because we can't. And then I stopped and I was like, whoa, calm down. It's just painting. Oh my gosh, calm down. But that was the inner child in me that would get in trouble for spilling a drink or dropping something on accident. Keyword accident, right? And it was my own painting. There was no reason for me to be so hard on myself. Same way when we're talking about our looks, the person we are. When we start to really reaffirm ourselves of those, it makes it way harder for other people to knock us down from the own beliefs that we create for ourselves. It's like we're building a brick house instead of a house from straws. When you're creating a foundation based on other people's beliefs and perceptions of you, you're not going to end up with a strong foundation. That's why you have to build it brick by brick. Yes, maybe it's a little bit more effort. Yes, maybe it's a little bit more exhausting. Maybe it takes more time, but it's going to be worth it in the end. That brick house is going to last so much longer than the straw house. So do yourself a favor. Get a little bit more conscious every day. This is going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight, but nothing worthwhile happens overnight. Build a different story, build a different narrative, build it brick by brick, not using straws. You are beautiful. You are amazing. Tell yourself that until you believe it. Okay? I freaking love ya. And you've got this. I know it's hard. I know it's exhausting. Healing is hard. But do this so that way when you're in community, when people are complimenting you, you can actually believe it. Change your life, change your narrative, change your thoughts, love yourself. I love ya. It's been a joy, pun intended, and I hope you guys have the best, most magical day in the entire world. You're so cute, Bob. You're so cute, Bob. Really? Yep, go ahead, lick your sack, bro. You can step up.
Oh my! Look at you, you're so cute.